That's us going live. And so, Sandy, welcome to In the Tasting Bothy. It's good to have you along. Thanks very much for agreeing to come and have a chat with us. And tonight, Clark and I are actually going to taste the Chivas 13 Tequila finish. So I will come to that in a wee minute. So, but tell us a wee bit about yourself. How did you get into being a whiskey blender?
Oh, to be honest, Bill, just by pure chance. When I was at school, I was scheduled to go to university. I wanted to go to do chemistry, and my father had his own antiques business, and he wasn't very keen on the idea, Bill. He was like, "It's just going to cost me a load of money for you to go to uni." And he spotted a job in Dundee with Stewart's Cream of the Barley, a little whiskey company, and
Oh, yes, yep.
they had a setup where you could work 4 days a week with them, and they would send you away to study chemistry. So, and he was like, "That's the job for you." So every Monday, I used to catch the train from Carnoustie all the way up to Aberdeen, and I went to Robert Gordon's for a good few years studying
Yes,
chemistry. And
yep.
but yeah, it just built from there. Working for a small company was amazing. You got lots of opportunity to do different jobs. You weren't just stuck to the one job all the time. And when I eventually made the move to come down to Glasgow, it just snowballed from there. I started looking after, blending, and then I took on inventory and cask purchasing. I look after all our laboratories as well, and planning, and it's a really varied job. But my office is right next door to the blending room, Bill. That's where my heart is. I love being in the blending room. Nosing whiskey, mixing up different creations, and looking after the continuity of all these amazing brands we have at Chivas Brothers.
Super. So you're talking about the brands that you have at Chivas. So can you give us a kind of wee insight into what types of brands that go into making a Chivas?
Yeah, oh well, Chivas itself is quite a complex whiskey with I would say, Bill, it's Hearts and Speyside. The single malts that are used. We have 13 distilleries in our portfolio to work from at Chivas Brothers. Strathyla is super important in Chivas. There isn't a bottle of Chivas Regal or any expression of Chivas sold anywhere in the world that does not contain Strathyla and also contains Longmorn single malt. They are really the foundation malts of Chivas Regal. Strathclyde grain is super important as well. It gives it that real smooth creaminess as well. But the real Speyside Strathyla, it's a real classic Speyside, that big fruity orchard fruit, a little bit of golden biscuit in there as well. Longmorn's creamy toffee, all that coming together makes an amazing sweet whiskey that really fits in with the Chivas family style.
Excellent. So that's the first part of it. So you're choosing the blends that go into that. But what influence does the cask have then? So obviously that's
Cask,
given us the
yeah,
liquid that goes
cask's
in. But
got a
what about
huge
the
influence.
cask?
Yeah, but I'm going to go back a stage, Bill. Choosing all these whiskies is super important, but a lot of people don't realise that as a blender, tomorrow morning I'll be away up to Keith first thing in the morning, sitting down with all the distillery managers, and I check all the new distillate from our distilleries. It's freshly made before it's gone into the cask every
Oh,
single
it
week.
looks
So
like
I'm
we've maybe had a
spending time.
technical issue.
No worries. I'm spending time checking all the new distillate. So right from the very day the whiskey's distilled, I'm working with the distillery team to make sure it's the quality I'm looking for. Then cask selection. Cask selection comes completely down to me and my team. We're picking all we're using all sorts of different casks here at Chivas Brothers. We're using American
Yeah.
oak, we're using French oak, we're using Spanish sherry butts, we're using Mizunara oak from Japan. It's amazing. And the whiskey you've got tonight, the tequila cask, we brought casks,
Yeah.
or we still are bringing casks all the way from Mexico to make this whiskey.
Amazing. I think it really amazes me, and I get the passion that's coming across in the conversation that we're having. Of how all those different casks really influence what you're actually doing, and how much has that been influenced by the fact that we've got so much happening within the gin industry at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of young people like all these different flavored, drinks that they're all having. So has the whiskey industry had to move with that to try and bring some younger people into to the whiskey tasting side of things?
I think there's a bit of that, Bill, but also I think that when I first started in the industry, I've been with Chivas Brothers for 40 years, and when I started back in 1983, you know, we were lucky if we did one new product a year. There was, you know, there wasn't a lot of new
Really?
product
Wow.
development. And now, you know, I think I have 45 live projects across the business at the moment that my team are looking at. And it's amazing because people really want to know. People want to know how you've made the whiskey. They want to know more about it. They want to know, and they want to try different expressions. People are really inquisitive these days. They want to try different expressions, try different flavors. And, you know, that's definitely what's it takes up a lot of my time these days, is making sure that we can deliver whiskies that are authentic, Bill. It's not just about making something new. It's about, you know, you were talking about the Chivas Regal tequila. It has to have all the Chivas Regal flavors that people like, but just with an extra twist, with an extra bit of flavor in there. But I want someone who loves Chivas Regal to try the Chivas Regal extra 13-year-old tequila and say, oh, that's everything I like, but with just a little bit of something extra there. It's lovely. It's discernibly different to the Chivas Regal 12.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I've obviously, we've come into the blend side. So when we started doing the tasting bothy, we were very much into single malt whiskies. And obviously people were whiskey snobs, and you stick to single malts and you have this and you have that and you have the next thing. But for me, it was very much a case of, well, let's have a look at the blends. What's out there? And Chivas Regal was one of the first ones that we tried, and we really enjoyed that. And like I said, Clark got one of these 13-year-olds for his 60th birthday, I think it was, and that's how we've got this. And we got to this stage, and you know, and that's been a couple of years ago, so we haven't even opened this bottle and done anything with it yet. So tonight is it? And so
I dug one out as well. I saw your post, so I dug one out tonight as well.
Good. I mean, it's a lovely colour. It really is. It's got a really lovely golden colour to it. I mean, that was the first thing I noticed on it. And when I look at just how it sticks to the glass, it's lovely. It's not too sugary, because I can see that it's got a nice kind of paleness to it, and it comes down. And the first thing I get on that nose is that citrusy zest, but there's a bright punch of pineapple in it.
Yeah, loads of pineapple, that sweet, and you're absolutely right with the citrus, because I had to make, this isn't just Chivas Regal 12-year-old matured for another year. This is a special bespoke blend. I had to make the blend more delicate than the normal Chivas Regal, so that the effect of the tequila casks complemented it perfectly, because it was quite subtle, the pickup. So we thought we'll dial the blend back a little bit so that it allows that tequila flavour from the casks to come through.
Yeah. So I like the nose, and it's nice. It's very.
I think you've
lost taste that.
Sorry, I lost you there.
Vanilla in the cask. So sorry, I'm saying on the palate. I mean, it's very light and very fresh on the nose, and on the palate, again, it's quite light, but it's got a lovely vanilla flavour to that. So is that through using the American oak cask, or is that coming from the tequila?
It's American
cask?
Oak. It's American oak barrels that they're using for the tequila in Mexico. I'm very lucky because obviously Chivas Brothers is part of the bigger Pernod Ricard group. So we have tequila within our group. So I was really lucky. I was able to get freshly emptied, top quality tequila casks to finish the whiskey in.
And it's got there is a little spiciness to that as well. There's a little bit of heat that comes from that. Now, I've never drunk tequila, so there you go. So I couldn't say whether it was tequila in that or not. So what am I looking for from that tequila side? So
yeah, on the taste, I get a bit of ginger marmalade. I get that sort of marmalade with a wee bit of ginger in it, and that's maybe what you're getting as spice. That's what I get, is the sort of tanginess coming through. It's really tasty.
And that's created with ginger in it, not using a chili side to it then. So that's just like a ginger heat that's in there.
Yeah, for me, it's that sort of homemade marmalade jam. You know, sometimes somebody put a wee bit of ginger in it, and it's that sweet orange with that bit of ginger taste. I just love it. The balance of it is really nice. And that's a combination of the cask influence, the tequila cask influence, but also that's some of the whiskies. You know, there's a really broad palette of malt and grain whiskies that are in the base of this whiskey before you even take it. You know, we mature it for 13 years.
Yeah.
We blend it together, and then we take a portion of it and we fill it into the tequila casks. And I'm monitoring those casks. Myself and my team will see those casks every 4 weeks, so that we're making sure that the flavor pickup's right, and also we're making sure that it doesn't get too strong. We don't want it to overpower it. So it's a real balancing act. It's not an exact science.
Yeah. Yeah. And so every 4 weeks, I take it you dip the cask then and you taste it and you wait till it's at that level that you're saying, right, that's where we are. That's
that's where, and so we're taking it every single 4 weeks, but it's many, many months before it's at the level that we're looking for the flavor for this expression.
Yeah, that's fun. I think we dropped off there, the two of us, for a second there, so it's unusual for it to drop out like that. So I've maybe got too many screens open here when I'm doing this. Let me just shut a couple of these down. Help us. Not got as many screens open at Sandy, so
no worries.
That finish, there's a saltiness as well that's there. I'll wait till Sandy comes out. I'm saying I've got a lovely sweetness and a lovely saltiness there, Sandy, that sits on my tongue.
Lovely long finish, Bill. Yeah, it's a lovely long finish. It takes quite a while to dissipate on the palate.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really nice with a big block of ice. I like it with not a small. I'm really, really fussy about my ice, Bill. Small ice is no good for me. It melts too quickly, ends up diluting the whiskey too quickly. A big block of ice will take a while to melt, so it's just perfect. It's lovely with a big block of ice.
That's interesting. Well, that'll give me another opportunity to try this at a later date with a big block of ice right now and see.
That's your homework. That's your homework for tonight.
That's fine, and I shall write back and report to you on how that actually went, because it's a lovely dram. I really like that. I mean, as I said, I know I've got some other Chivas drams that we've tried, and if I was to go back my whiskey tasting books that we've done over the last 2 years, they've all scored very, very highly. They've all been up in the 8.5, 8.9 into the 9.4. So they've been really, really good. We've really enjoyed the Chivas side of it. So
really pleased to hear that. You know, it's an incredibly popular whiskey, Chivas Regal. You know, I don't think there's a single country in the world that Chivas Regal's not sold in. You know, it's a very, very popular and has an amazing reputation, which, Bill, being master blender for a whiskey that has such a fabulous reputation, you know, comes with responsibility. You need to make sure. My God, you don't want it to go wrong under your watch. That is for sure.
No, definitely. So, any exclusives? What's coming? That might be new to us that you can actually tell us about?
Well, that's a really tricky question. We've got loads of experiments going on. You know, at Chivas, I'm really encouraged to do all sorts of different things, bring in exotic casks, try different. You know, I've got some amazing red wine casks in just now that we're filled with whiskey, and we're trying an experiment with them. But I can't tell you too much, because the last thing I want is somebody beat me to it.
No, I appreciate that. That's not a problem at all. I go to France on a regular basis, and I go to this it's a distillery, a cognac distillery, not far from where my brother lives in France, Monsieur Ballaway's. His cognac is fantastic. He comes to Scotland and he takes all his whiskey casks back over to France with him. So he goes all over the different places and takes them back. And his brandy is, and I'm not a brandy drinker, I really don't like brandy, but I do like Monsieur Ballaway's.
His product,
Yeah. So it's one of those ones where I've always looked to see, you know, who does a cognac finish on them, you know, but something different, not a standard, you know, like Courvoisier or Remy Martin or something like that, but something that's just a wee bit different. So
you should have a look. You should have a look for Chivas. Yeah, you should have a look for Chivas Regal XV. That's a 15-year-old, and we finished that in cognac casks. That is absolutely amazing. If you like that sort of sweet raisin, little bit of spiciness coming through in it, real sort of cinnamon, it's absolutely awesome. Yeah, look out for that. Chivas Regal XV, finished in cognac cask. Amazing dram.
I will have a look at that. So I'm going to thank you for your time, Sandy. It's been good just having a chat with you.
Well, yeah,
I know we're coming up to that kind of 15 minutes thing. Hopefully we can do this again sometime if there's anything that you want
be
us to talk
absolutely,
and
absolutely
share about,
delighted.
or
And
you've
thank you very
something new
much.
coming that
Yeah,
you want to be when you are able to share with us, then
yeah. Think I've lost you again, Bill.
that's us back again. I don't know what's causing that. Sandy's away. So he dropped off. Anyway, folks, I'm going to end the broadcast. I can only apologise for some of the interruptions we've had tonight. I don't know why. I don't know if it's came because of my settings or whatever, but I apologise if it interrupts your listening today. And sorry that Clark hasn't joined us either. So I'm presuming that something's come up that's caused him not to be able to join me as well this evening. So, but from in the tasting bothy, let me wish you all the best. Have a great evening. Chivas, Tequila, excellent dram. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So hopefully we can catch up soon and take care. God bless. And we'll see you soon in the tasting bothy. Thank you very much.